Hey guys, it's Ross Jeffries, and this is the Answers to Students video module for our friend down under, Mr. Swoop, from May 2009. Here's Swoop's question. His question relates to the overall structure and pace of using speed seduction. He wants me to speak a little bit about the overall structure of SS interactions and the general pacing. How soon should he begin using patterns? What's the best order to do patterns? Very typical common question and an important one. Here's my structure revealed. First, let me give you my metaphor. When I'm doing speed seduction, what I envision, my metaphor, is doing Aikido. I'm sort of like the Aikido master, and I'm going to feel that other person out. I'm sort of moving around with them, not quite pushing against them, but sharing energy with them. I want to see how they move. I want to pick up their rhythm. Where are they in balance? Where are they a little off balance? Where are they offering me something that I can pull them forward into me? So I'm testing, I'm looking for the rhythm, I'm looking for the opening. I also want to see, what is she responding to? If I offer something, is she strongly biting down on that, or is she like nibbling at it, or does she have no response at all? So this is my structure, this is my metaphor, Aikido, fishing. And another key point I want to give you, knowing what to look for, how to observe, what to listen for, that is a pattern of seduction. It's a very vital and important pattern of seduction, even though it doesn't involve anything that you say. So bear in mind that observation and listening and knowing what to listen and look for is a huge part of my skill set. So that said, when it comes to structure, there's sequential, there's continual or continuous, and then there's periodic. Now, while your question is about sequence, order, structure includes more than that. So you're asking me about the sequence, but in fact, structure includes more than what you do in a sequence. Yes, structure includes sequence, the order of spoken patterns, the order in which you do things. But it also includes what you do continually and consistently all the time. So consider that part of your structure is not just the sequence of what you do, but the things you're always going to be doing. What are those? Well, you're always going to be maintaining rapport, you're always going to be maintaining your state, and you're always going to be calibrating, observing the woman and seeing where she's at. And then there are those things that you return to periodically. What would be an example of things you return to periodically? You could periodically return to her trance words. You could periodically pick up or return to themes that you introduced earlier on in the Sarge or earlier nonverbal responses she's giving you, her self-anchors or the anchors that you set on her. So bear in mind that structure and sequence are not one and the same. Now, there are 5 types of spoken patterns. The first one are the memorized speeches that most guys think of when they're first learning speed seduction. Great stuff, Discovery Channel, blowjob pattern, incredible connection. The second type of patterns are seduction questions. When you really want to cut loose and just indulge yourself, what do you love to do? These questions bring up the types of themes and the kinds of responses that we can build in to open up those deeper, more seducible places in a woman's mind. There are jokes, stories, and poems. These are actually a subcategory of type number 1. Jokes, stories, poems, voodoo dildo joke, all sorts of poems, fascination poem. There's tons of them. Then there's quizzes and games like the snack quiz, twin brothers, etc. And finally there's demos, cube, handwriting analysis, blammo, that sort of thing. So as you can see, there's 5 different kinds of spoken patterns that you can do. My overall sequence is first to observe. I want to observe the person quickly before I say anything. I want to see, is there anything I can observe about them that I can use? Anything I can observe about what they're doing, how they're standing, their energy, something that, in which the way they're interacting with other people, the way they're interacting with the external environment, their internal processing. Is there anything I can observe? Then I want to open them up and engage their attention. I want to evaluate, how are they responding to me? Are they responding to me in a way that makes me want to keep going, or should I eject? Then I'm going to go further with either a seduction question or a game or a quiz. I'm going to develop that response and intensify that response, and then I'm going to close. That's my basic overall sequence. Now, bear in mind that one of the things I also like to do is go back and forth between doing something that's a little bit intense and then being funny. So I like to fractionate back and forth between those things. Sometimes I'll be really, really funny, and then I'll do something that really demonstrates a lot of command, a lot of understanding. Sometimes, I vary it up a lot. So remember, the part of what I periodically return to is I periodically fractionate. Here's a real life example. The cafe where I wrote this PowerPoint. I was coming in and I saw there were no tables to plug into my computer, but this girl was getting up from the table. She said, "Here, I'm leaving a second. You can have my table." So she sort of engaged me. But then I thought, okay, let's engage her a little bit. I looked at her and I said, "Are you a fighter? You look like you can fight." Now, you could call that a comment, question, observation, but I'm engaging her. I want to see how she responds to that. Why did I offer that? Because it arouses curiosity. They're not used to hearing it. What do you mean, am I a fighter? Is he insulting me? Is he complimenting me? It creates a little curiosity. And she answered, she said, "No, my big shoulders come from kayaking." All right, now she's offering me that information. I didn't ask, I just simply said, "Can you fight?" So the fact that she's offering me information is a good sign. So I'm going to develop that response. So I said, "Kayaking, does that involve this kind of movement?" Because I was curious. And she said, "Yeah." And then she said, "I kayak in the ocean. It's a great escape from city and traffic." Now, she's offering me more information, and she leaned on a word. She leaned on the word escape. Now, that tells me, oh, escape. Then I think to myself, well, what theme does that give me the opportunity to introduce? And how can I introduce that theme? Well, the theme obviously would be escape, indulgence, right? Maybe fantasy. So what are some of the ways I could build on that theme? I could have gone to, Discovery Channel. When I like to escape, I like to go to amusement parks. Do you like roller coasters? Or I could have said escape. Wow. When you really want to cut loose, I could have gone there. In this case, I sort of modified it. I said, really, tell me more about that. When you really want to escape, if we were to escape together out in the ocean and do this kayaking, tell me, what's our adventure feel like, and what's your favorite part of it? Do you understand where I'm going with this? Now, that's not necessarily a sexual thing, but remember, I think in terms of compartments. Here's her compartment where she thinks about sex or sexual feelings. Here's her escape compartment, and there's a little overlap between them. With some girls, it's a huge overlap. So I'm beginning to awaken those deeper parts of the mind. Now, had I been interested, which I was not, I would have changed the tone. Once she gave me that answer and developed it, I would have introduced a game or a quiz. Why would I do that? Because I want to change the tone from something that's really curious, intriguing, and a little bit heavy to being funny. And also, when I introduce a game or a quiz, like Snack Quiz or Twin Brothers, think about it. Snack Quiz, it's introducing the themes of indulgence, pleasure, oral pleasure. From there, you could even build by going to the blowjob pattern after the Snack Quiz. And again, had I noticed anything interesting from her responses to the game or quiz, believe me, I would have developed it. Had there been any kind of sexual tone to it, I would have fed that back with some really nice embedded commands. You understand? I also might have then gone from there to introducing, some intuition I had about her, establishing my authority in her world. I could have gone to a demo or a poem or even a canned pattern to develop the insight that I just shared. So I think you can see that there's a lot of opportunities here. I want you to have a look at this video. It's on my main website, seduction.com/video, and then there's an underscore steaming. It should be streaming, but it's steaming2.php. Better way to do it is go to seduction.com, click on video proof, and scroll down, and you'll see, I think it says fantastic kissing or erotic kissing. Turn the sound up for this, and notice how I develop her responses. All right, so let's play with this. If you have any more questions, get back in the discussion group on the board, and I'll post more on this topic.